Hello. Hello. Are we I'm going to wait and see if we've got a couple more folks who will join us. Let's see if we get a little bit of population in here before I really get going. Good afternoon. Good evening. Depends on your part of the day. I'm going to give folks just a couple of minutes to see uh, if we can get some folks in here. If you are here, please let me know where you're from. Just type in where you're from, and that way I'll get to know who's visiting with me. Oh, great. Hey, Tina. Turnabout's fair play, huh? You're going to watch me after I watched you. That's great. I'm not creating art today, though. Well, not paintings. My friend Tina Matrosis Boris is a fabulous artist, and she shares her talent and how to do it. Okay. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and get started here. We're going to talk about 3 ways to get through COVID-19 grief. Hmm. All right. And don't don't think that we're not dealing with grief, that you're not dealing with grief. There is some form of it in this situation we're in because this is such a weird time that we're living in, and the things that are going on are so different than anything we've experienced. So let's talk about these griefs, these things that we're dealing with. The first step is we have to sit in our sorrow for a bit. Doesn't sound pleasant, right? Well, it's not necessarily going to be so. But what we have to do is we have to recognize that we're dealing with grief, whether it's the death of a loved one or a lost job, lost freedom, lost marriage, lost relationships, lost reputation, loss of self confidence. It's all grief. It's all grief. After we've sat in that sorrow, or as we're sitting in that sorrow, we don't need to just sit there and repeat and repeat and repeat the sorrow itself. We need to be looking at what is the source of that sorrow. We need to determine the source of our sorrow. Why is our heart aching? Why does it beat faster? Why, or beat slower? Why does it feel like a pain that we just can't live with? Why? Think about that loss that you're feeling. What caused it? Is it this darn virus thing? Is it Alzheimer's? Is it cancer? Is it infidelity or miscommunication? Is it rules that make you stay at home? Is it the economy? Is it the malice of others? I understand the Alzheimer's. My mother had it. And some people think that I didn't grieve a lot when she passed away. And I truly didn't, because I had started grieving her 3 years before that when the Alzheimer's started taking her. It was a slow and long grief because every visit with her was just one more thing that had been stolen from us. And the life, even though she was living and breathing, it wasn't the mom I knew. And cancer, I've had it twice. I know this grief. I haven't had to go through so much of the stuff that other people have. But when you hear the doctor say you have cancer, mm, you are knocked for a loop. And suddenly, everything that you had planned, everything that you had dreamed of is suddenly on this like a tilt-a-whirl. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how to make things right again. And nothing is as it should be. There's grief. So you need to be honest with yourself. You need to look deep. You need to look beyond the obvious and see the source of your sorrow. Number three, we must look, this is hard. This is hard. We must look at our role in the loss. Hmm. We have to be objective as we look at our loss that has brought on this sorrow, and we have to make the choice not to blame someone else. Yeah, we don't get to blame someone else for it. Even if it's a marriage thing, you don't get to blame the other party. You don't get to blame the one in the relationship. You don't get to blame. Blame only keeps you captive, okay? It only hurts you. Now, see, we can acknowledge that they had a part in the sorrow, but we have to look at it to see if we played a part too. Now, mind you, people, I am not saying, let me go at it this way. Some of the roles that we play in our sorrows, some of us are victims. Some of us had nothing at all to do with what happened to us. I didn't go out and seek cancer. I didn't go out and look at, ooh, let me go get cancer. I wasn't doing things that should have brought it on. I mean, I had stage 3 melanoma. I wasn't a sunbabe. I wasn't out there tanning every day. I wasn't going to the tanning beds all the time. Yet I had stage 3 melanoma. I was a victim in that situation. My role there was victim. There are other places where you would have grief as a victim. Don't overlook that. State that, declare that. My part in this sorrow was victim. But then look and see what in all the other situations and other things that you're grieving, what role did you have in that? Did you continue to push buttons in that relationship that made the other person go no more? Or, what? Just look and see. That way, you can honestly work on a solution and you'll be able to determine the best solution that you can use to make a change to this sorrow. And finally, as a part of this, we have to let go of what we cannot fix. Yeah, that's the hard one, right? We cannot fix so much of the things that cause us grief. And yet we feel like we should, and we feel like we have to try. But the truth is we just can't, and we have to come to grips with that. We can't bring back our loved one who died. The people of faith who died, we believe we will see them again. See, we can shift our focus from having lost them to what that next meeting is going to be like. We can think about what they're experiencing and things like that. We can shift our focus. See, we can't decide that our old job is still our job. That's the boss's decision. Or if it's a result of this virus thing, we can't fix that. We don't get to say, poof, we're back again. We don't get to say, my business is suddenly thriving even though I have no customers or clients. We don't get to say that. We can't fix that. There's neither one of those things, the economy or the boss's decision. We can't do anything about that. Now, if it is COVID related, we can use the time that we always said we wanted to have in order to do the things that we needed to get done to do those things. What? Do the gutters need cleaning? Does the house need painting? Does the house need washing? Does the deck need a cleaning? Do you need to clean out the garage? Maybe the kids' rooms need a going over. Have you looked at your closet lately? There's all kinds of things that we can get done. You could sit down and write a book, Lou Boris. You could sit down and write a book. You could learn a new language. You could learn some new recipes, learn how to cook. You could play with your kids, teach them the things that you used to play. Teach them how to do, how to play tag and how to play Red Rover. All these things that we did when we were little. Well, not all of you. Some of you were little after me. Hit me up. I'll give you some suggestions. But we can use this time that we're having to stay stranded for good things. We don't have to roll around in our grief and stay in it. See, we can't just tell the government to fly a kite and gather with our closest friends and strangers. Okay, yeah, we could, but the consequences. We have to think about the consequences. We feel that our freedom is curtailed. And those of you who are extroverts, I know this is hard on you. I know that you feel like you're dying inside. And see, I get that. I get that because you gain your energy from being around other people. And that's just killing you right now. I get that. And I hate it for you. But may I suggest that what we need to do is to determine that getting together in different ways counts. That you don't have to be within touching distance of a person in order to receive that charging. If you can pull them up on FaceTime or on Zoom or in Facebook Messenger and look at them, can you allow your mind to say, I'm being charged up because I get to look at this person that I care about? You know, we can stay in communication, talk on the phone, allow ourselves to receive that connection whatever way we can. There's all sorts of ways. See, for my husband and I, we've been spending more time on the front porch. Family will come over. We sit in chairs that are a significant distance apart. Sometimes we sit in the sunshine and have a meal, and sometimes we sit in the shade and just talk. We'll have coffee, a snack, but we'll talk. And we get to stay connected with family and friends. And what about those lost relationships? You have to realize, folks, that you cannot change another person's mind. You simply can't. You can't make them believe in you again. You can't make them love you. And that hurts. That hurts. You can decide if you need to be a differently behaved person than you were in the past, but that will not change the other person. You have to understand that each of us are responsible for our own thoughts and feelings. We're responsible for our own responses, our own reactions. However, if you needed to be a differently behaved person, now would be a good time. Yeah. So here's another question. Have people maligned your reputation and damaged your self-confidence? That's a loss. That hurts, especially if the person who did that is someone you trusted. But what can you really do about it? The only thing I see is that you have to be living your life in such a way that others will not believe what that person said. And those that do believe that never knew you anyway. Let them go. Just let them go. Remember who you are and whose you are. Do not let the attack of the malicious deter you from being who God died for you to be. So here's the bottom line. We must sit in our sorrow for a bit. Can't avoid it. While we're sitting in that sorrow, we must determine the source of our sorrow. Ooh. We must objectively examine our role in the sorrow. And we simply have to let go of what we cannot fix. In recovery, we say we must feel, deal, and heal. The sitting in the sorrow we're feeling. We're feeling the hurt. We're recognizing the pain. We're understanding. We're stepping out of denial. We might move through anger, the steps of grief. We might go through depression and dark before we reach acceptance and healing. My friend Margaret Feinberg says, there might be a sixth step, meaning. So once we've experienced the healing, the acceptance part, we can look at why we had to go through that. And here's another thought. I'm kind of going off the path here just a little bit, but for this weekend, Think about this. You know, on the day that Jesus was tortured and crucified, the angels in heaven, they must have just been at the edges, just watching and just almost feeling every blow that he felt, every lash of the whips, the tearing of his skin. They recognized the pain of betrayal that he felt. And you got to know, they were ready to just swoop in and take care of business. They were just waiting for the Father to say go, but the Father never did. The angels did not understand. They did not know God's full plan. We are living in a time where we do not understand what's going on. We understand, we know why we can't go be with our family or friends who are in hospitals and nursing homes. But our hearts cry out, why? We don't understand. We don't understand. We don't know God's full plan in all of this. And last time, I don't know about you, but he's not telling me. When these times come, like this that we're dealing with now, and they will again, whether it's widespread like this crisis or personal, just on us, we have to make a choice. When we don't understand what's going on, we have to make a choice. Are we going to go with what we see? Are we going to try to fix it ourselves or get another human to fix it? Or are we going to trust fully and completely in God to work all things out for our good and his glory? Do I need to say that again? When these times come, and they will, whether it's widespread like this now or something just personal to us, we have to make a choice. Do we depend on ourselves or other humans to fix the problem, or do we fully and completely trust in God to work out all things for our good and his glory? Scripture tells us that every good and perfect gift comes from God. That's in James 1:17. Every good gift from God, every perfect gift from his hands. Our healing from the things that are destroying us now is from God alone. We have to trust him to be who he says he is and that he can do what he says he can do. A lot of us rest on Romans 8:28, where Paul wrote that we know that God works all things toward good for those who love him and are called according to his purpose. And we read that God will work everything for our good. What we don't take into account is that our idea of good may not match God's idea of good. And that's where the trust comes in. See, we don't understand, really, we don't understand ourselves. I mean, we have to take time to understand what we're feeling and why we're feeling it, okay? God knows. He knew before it ever happened what you were going to be feeling. He knew what you'd be thinking in this very moment. Faye, come on, right? But what we need to understand is that he does know us. He knows us fully. He created us. He created us individually. He didn't just do a mass, whoop, there they all are. He said, no, there's that one. That's my daughter. That's my son. Look at this one over here. He made each of us individuals, unique, with a purpose. And he knows the good for us. He knows the perfect for us. So that relationship that you're wanting restored, God may be sitting there on his throne saying, oh, honey, I know you want it restored, but that is not good for you. That is not the good I have for you. I have something so much better. Trust me. So there we are. We have to trust. We choose to trust. We have to trust that he knows us, what's really best for us, and that he truly will work things around to that good. Not necessarily what we want, but to that he knows is good. And today I read this verse and I loved it. So I'm going to share it with you. John 16:22 says, this is Jesus said these words, Now is your time of grief, but I will see you again, and you will rejoice, and no one will take away your joy. So here's the point. You can feel joy again in the midst of the COVID-19 mess without having to stay in the darkness of grief. These steps, this journey can help you move past the grief, past the anger, past the denial, past the depression, out of the bargaining to acceptance. And you'll be able to find the meaning in what's been going on. Now, if you're someone who is about wanting to make this even easier, I invite you to take a couple of minutes to purchase Coffee Bible Journal, Musings from the Comfy Chair with a View, to help. It's 40 daily devotionals that will help you get into God's Word and to be able to apply it to your life. You can get an instant download at faybryant.com/author so you can have this daily help to get you through the COVID-19. Thank you for coming. Thank you for allowing me into your home. And I appreciate you. Be safe, take care, and get to work.